All right, the ammo and reloading component shortage of 2021. Okay, we're off to a new year, and things from 2020, the situation with ammunition, and now even to the point where reloading components and stuff are almost non-existent, has gotten worse. You know, I did go out and try to find some stuff at some local stores, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But what has happened is, usually I cover over the years these crises and shortages where things just go out of sight, go crazy. And, it started last year, and it started with the health issue, because I don't want to get gigged on YouTube or censored, so you all know what I'm talking about. This big health crisis was number one, and that screwed everything up. Then, like everyone in the videos explains, it's an election year, so that ratchets up the level even more. Well, not only was there a health issue election year, but there was a whole bunch, and there still is. There was political violence, rioting, protesting, and now there is really, really deep-seated political uncertainty. Okay? And, it's going to be explosive here until the end of the month, beginning of next month. It's, who knows? Okay, because already rumors are flying about super gun restrictions, taxes on ammo. There's a lot of very frightening things out there, and I can see it in people. Okay, so what has happened is not only with the ammo shortage, and their ammunition is getting through. Okay, if you've watched on YouTube, there's several CEOs of the companies that make ammo. Remington was one, and there was another one, another major manufacturer, where they sent out a message, because these people were receiving all of these nasty emails and accusations, doing strange things, and the guy goes, look, none of that's true, okay? And like in the videos, they said with all this stuff going on, there is a 10 times increase in demand. So even if it's 2 or 3 times the increase, but 10 times is beyond overwhelming, and that's what we are seeing here. And it's not letting up. Okay, then there's the fear factor. All right, so ammunition is hard to get, and if it shows up anywhere, it's something close to reasonable, because you can find it online. And I've seen where ammunition, 9mm ammo, and it's a brand and a type. It's not the specialty with the special bullets or anything. It's just plain basic stock ammo that was selling for anywhere from $8 to $10 a box before the crisis. Okay, you walk into any store, pick it up, it's a $10 bill. One I seen was with the shipping and that, well, without the shipping, I think, it was $49 for 50 rounds. Then with the shipping and that, it'd be over $50 for a box. And then you sales tax. Well, in the store, you're not counting the sales tax. You look at the sticker on the shelf, you're going to pay sales tax. So now you're looking base cost, $48, $50, and then I was talking to somebody, how true it is, I don't know. They told me that they were getting something like $80 for a box of ammo. This guy, like a rumor. So this is insane, and it translates also into what I'm working with and what I'm dealing with. It is not so much like 9mm, 5.56 or 223. I mean, any of that stuff. You offer it up for sale or have it, it's gone. I mean, immediately. Okay. Any of the 380, anything popular, 22 is almost impossible to find. Or I remember last summer I would get a case of in 50 round boxes instead of the bulk, and I'd sit out at the flea market and sell them for $3, and I think I was making 50 cents a box. But the way that market is, people would come and buy just 1 or 2 boxes at a time, okay? I had that's what I was doing. If they wanted a whole brick, go to the store and buy it, but these people would come and just pick one little thing, and I sold like a few thousand rounds that way, through the summer. Basically, it added up and covered the cost of the table at the flea market, half a dollar at a time. So that's the way it was. It was plentiful, it was inexpensive, you could buy it. That was 2019. Then when we got in there, everything skyrockets. I went to a gun show, that same ammo, I know what the guy paid for it. Even if he paid retail back then, he was selling $10, $12 for 50 rounds. And now when you go online, $8 for a 50 round box. And then, well, you're gonna have to pay shipping and sales tax, okay? So this is where it's all gotten out of control. You can find ammunition in small quantities, but you're gonna pay a ridiculous amount. Going into the military calibers, they brought in a ton of these 6.5 Carcanos, and it used to be at factory ammo, even though it had an undersized bullet, it doesn't quite shoot well, it was about $20 a box. And if you reload it with a larger bullet or a different type of bullet, you can end up with something usable. And people have come to me, and I was making the ammo with the larger bullet. It's custom. You can't buy it off the shelf like that. So I was getting $26 a box, okay? And somebody sent me an email. I went on a gun broker, and factory off the shelf stuff is going for $60 to $80 a box, okay? Because there's such a huge demand for this, and all these thousands of rifles were sold, and nobody can find the ammunition for it, okay? So you say, all right, I'm fed up with paying high ammunition prices. I'm gonna reload. Okay, now you cannot find powder, primer, reloading equipment, dies. Okay, the bullets are sold out, like the 6.5 Carcano and some of these odd things that they never sold out. 7.7 Jap. These are not mainstream calibers. All that stuff's gone. You can't find it anywhere. And powder, you can't find it anywhere. And I've heard, somebody sent me an email the other day that they had it on the gun broker, $120 for 1 pound of gunpowder, which is actually an item that should be selling at the max, $27, $28, I think, before things got out, depending on the brand. Some of them will cost a little more than that, but average price, say, is $30, okay, not 125. All right. So the situation is bad. Okay, I went to the local store, so now I got to the point, I was sorting through my stuff and said, let me see if I can go there and find primers or powder. I went last week later in the day, like 10 o'clock, to Sportsman's Warehouse, and I seen people wandering around, had like 1,000 primers. So I said, all right, man, I'll go next Thursday when I stock the shelves. I'll get there early and get in. Well, I don't know the schedule or the game. When I sat there this morning, it was fairly cold. I sat in the car. There were 2 or 3 people. One guy was standing there by the door 10 or 15 minutes before. And then when the door opened, there were 3 guys standing there. About 5 minutes till or something, 2 other individuals showed up. And then when they opened the door and let the first guy in, about 5 or 6 of us got out of vehicles and went in there. So there's about 8 people went in there. And I went in there, and it was empty. The shelves for ammunition. These guys were going to get ammo. Was empty. The only powder they had was the black powder substitutes and that, and there's a sign there, 1 canister of powder per day per person. So I did this whole trip, waited out there about 15, 20 minutes and that, and all I would have been able to get is a pound of powder. Well, they didn't have any, and they had absolutely no primers. So I don't know what their replenishment is once a month, or what the deal is. Sometimes I think that store it's once a month, and I missed it last week. Okay? So I don't know anybody that works there and can tell me when they're going to do it. So about 3/4 of a mile down the road, half mile down the road, there's Academy Sports. And I noticed when I was driving over there, there's all these people in front of Academy Sports. So I must have been missing something. So I said, let me swing by Academy Sports, because every time I go in there, that whole aisle where the ammunition is, I mean, there's nothing. There's some dyes. There used to be some components like bullets, you know. I said, let me go see. So I go in there, and I got there, 20 minutes, half hour late. So I'm going there and I'm looking, and the way the store's laid out, I'm going to where that aisle is, and there's this line of people. Okay, and I'm like, oh. And I'm looking, and about halfway down the store is where the ammunition aisle is. So there's this line of people from the ammunition aisle going all the way down past all the fishing gear to the wall. And I said, it looks like I got to stand in line. And then I'm looking, it goes to the wall in the front, and it keeps going, and I'm looking, and I said, oh, there's the end of it, and no, and I'm looking, and it wraps around to where it's almost to the front door or something, or going up and around. There had to be 60, 70 people in line, and the store's been open for a half hour, and you see everybody checking out shit in bags. I don't know if it's ammo or what. So I said, all right, is there even anything there? So I went into the store and got to a point behind some clothing racks so I could look down the aisle and see what the hell's going on. They have one employee that lets you go, and I guess there's limits. Okay, I don't know. I've never been to this place. The last time I bought components from them is when this first started, way back in April or something, and what it was, the guy said, you can get 3 on anything. And that's it. So if I wanted 3 pounds of powder, what I ended up buying is 3 bricks of primers. And that was it. Okay, 3. If I got a brick of primers, I guess a can of powder and a box of cartridges, that would be my 3, the magic number. So that's what everyone was doing. I did get things there because at that point in time, reloading components, you could still get your hands on them. More than ammo. Ammo was instantly gone. Everyone came in there for the loaded ammo, and it went quick. So I said, okay, no big deal. I got all my tools and components, or tools and stuff. So I just need components, primer, powders, and I loaded stuff and did things. And in the summer, I'd say August or so. I placed a couple orders with Grafs, and I was doing this throughout the year. Some of them were quite large orders. They were $800-900 orders of components, be it brass, bullets, whatever. But I needed some powder, and I had 2 projects going. And now, if I know I'm going to use it and load a lot, I get an 8-pound canister. Okay, it's probably the cheapest and simplest way, and plus storing it's easier. Each type of powder, you got one big jug instead of a whole bunch of small ones. So powder you could still get, generally. There were some types, and I know why. It's like Varget is a very popular powder. You couldn't get that. And the very popular types, there's that one Winchester powder that's pretty good in all handguns. That was gone. Okay? And so it was spotty. You could still get, and I did get some IMR powders that I use for these old military calibers. A lot of accurate arms. There's a lot of people that like those for more modest 6.5 Creedmoor, and those were hard to find in the summer. Well, I ordered it, and actually now I've almost used 2 8-pound jugs up. And I said, okay, I need some more powder. Can't find it nowhere. Okay, and at Sportsman's Warehouse, before Thanksgiving, I went in there a couple times, and they would have the powder up on a shelf, And actually, I did get 2 or 3 single pounds of it at a time before they had a limit. And, used it for one thing. So that wasn't too bad. And a friend of mine went there also. Again, this is before Thanksgiving. So you could say this was like in September or something, or October. And you go in there and there would still be powder on the shelf that you could get a pound or two. And there was no limit, because I think I bought 2 or 3 pounds one time. And I went through the checkout. Now there's a sign there, 1 pound of powder per day. And I guess what it is now that it's sold out, these people are buying the crap and then marking it up to $125 a pound when you're still paying $30, about 20 some dollars for when it's in stock in the store. Okay, the store isn't charging like $120. Okay. Online, you find these people that they'll offer ammo, and it's quite high. It's higher than what it was. Some of it's ridiculous, some of it isn't. And really, it's more like I said, the 9mm, $45 a box. I ain't buying it. And you got to buy 500 rounds of it too. So it's not like one box for $45, $50. It's half a case, 500 rounds. At 40 was something like $48 a box. Okay, it's 400 some odd dollars for 500 rounds. And anyway, I seen this line, and when I went in there and looked down the aisle, it was all gone. So I said, "There's no point in me staying here. I don't need any ammo." But that's sad when you got to stand outside and wait. It's the communist countries. It's like you stand in line for bread or shoes or whatever the hell they're handing out that day. I mean, this is not good. Okay, and then when people say, well, I'm selling this, it's free enterprise. I had a case of ammo I bought 6 months ago for $8 a box. Now I'm selling it for, $60. That's America. That's supply and demand, free enterprise. That's not. That's instability, price gouging, and exploiting fear. Okay? The retailers, I don't believe, because I haven't bought anything in months, I don't think they're ratcheting the price up. Okay? Maybe it might be a little bit higher than what it was, but it's not like 4 or 5 times more than what it was. Okay? That's a tough call. And if you go on the gun broker or auction sites or people trying to sell stuff, it's insane. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know how we're going to come out of this. This morning was just, well, at least I know what the situation is. And it's pretty screwed up. Okay? It's not good. I don't know if it ever will be good. I'm out here doing a total inventory of what I have on hand. And now we don't know, depending on what happens and who gets put into office, they may initiate some bizarre laws or very restrictive laws where you may never be able to get anything again. So in a way, I kind of don't blame people for panicking. I can see why they do this. So now it's kind of up to the point where, what's going to happen. If they do put some harsh laws in there, then I guess every scrap and bit and piece that I have just automatically, since it's no longer available, became much more valuable. But then again, will you ever be able to go out on a recreational shoot again or hunt, without it costing you hundreds of dollars? It's frightening, but that's what I found out today, and that's current situation. It's a lot worse than it was, okay? And if it's going to get better, I guess we'll have to wait and see another month and see where this all ends up, okay? Thank you, and stay tuned.